So we have just seen a new firmware update for the Mini 4 Pro and the DJI Air 3 that crucially fixes the really slow DJI RC2. But since doing that video, I've had a lot of you feedback to me saying you're having a lot of problems actually updating these drones. They won't update. DJI have pulled this firmware. Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly what to do. So I updated the DJI Mini 4 Pro and the Air 3 on this RC2 controller to the latest DJI Fly app. Now normally what you would do, you would turn your DJI RC2 on, you turn one of these two drones on and connect to Wi-Fi, and then automatically you will get a prompt on the screen saying new firmware update available, and then go and update. And normally it's really vague about what the actual update is. And that's what this was. So I updated and it was the latest firmware version 02.02.00.00 and DJI Fly app 1.13.4. But a lot of you said that when you actually get your RC2 controller, it just wasn't working for you. And I was like, well, sometimes they actually are late in pushing out firmware updates to certain countries. But still, like even yesterday and today, I was getting messages saying it's just not working. So I wanted to actually investigate this. So I actually got this other RC2 controller, which was on an old version of the DJI Fly app and firmware. And then I actually wanted to update this to these drones as well, just to see what happened. And you're right, for some reason, this automatic prompt isn't coming on the screen. But there is a way of actually forcing this update to happen. Now, I did actually screen record this first bit, so bear with me, but that didn't actually record. Once it actually was updating the RC2, it just lost that completely. So I'll talk you through exactly what to do. So what you want to do again is get your DJI Mini 4 Pro or your DJI Air 3, turn them on, turn your RC2 controller on, and make sure you're connected to Wi-Fi. So once you've actually turned your drone on and the RC2 controller, you've connected to Wi-Fi, this on the main screen is where you would see this prompt automatically to actually update the firmware. But for some reason at the moment, this just isn't happening. Now there is a few ways to actually check to see if you're on the latest firmware update, and also actually to try and get it to actually come on the screen anyway. The first option is you can click on Go Fly, and then you want to go into your settings, so click on the top right hand corner, those three dots, and then you want to click on About, and then it'll say Aircraft Firmware about halfway down. Now if you click on Check for Updates, this should then say New Update Available, and then you can update it. At the moment it's not. You're probably going to be getting a message saying your firmware is up to date, but it's not, because that guy on the internet said there's a new update which fixes the RC2. So how do we do this? So another way, you can actually go back onto that main menu, click on Profile, and then click on Settings, and then at the top it'll say Firmware Update, check for updates. Again, it'll say checking version, your firmware is up to date. So what you want to do is you actually want to, while you're still on this page now, under Settings, you want to scroll down to where it says About. Click on About, and then it will then say check for updates. Once you click on that, and this is where I can't show you because it didn't screen record before, it will then say there is a new DJI Fly app update available. Then you want to click on Update, and once you've updated that, you will have the latest DJI Fly and firmware update. For some reason, the check for firmware update isn't working. You need to update the DJI Fly app on the RC2, and that will then automatically give you the latest firmware as well. Now, once that's done, it will ask you, do you want to actually complete and install later or now? So you click on now, and then it will actually reset the RC2, and you'll have the latest update. So then you can go back off here, back onto that main page. So click on Go Fly. You want to click on Settings again. So the top right hand corner, those three dots, click on About, and you should have then the latest app version, which is DJI Fly 1.13.4 and the RC version 02.02.00.00. And once you've done that, this then fixes the Cine, Normal and Sports bug. So before, when you was using normal mode, it would say P mode, so you shouldn't see P anymore. It should be back to N mode. P is not a bug, it was just called the old position mode, but for some reason it defaulted back to that. Now that's fixed, but crucially the main update with this is it fixes the really slow speeds on the RC2. The boot up time when you was actually turning on the DJI Mini 4 Pro, you turned on the RC2 and it would take like up to a minute to actually just boot up. This black screen, it would stay on for ages. Same with DJI Air 3, it fixes that. The boot up time now is much faster. So I actually really do recommend updating to this. Sometimes it's not worth bothering, but for this, if you were struggling with the slow boot up speeds, I would highly recommend it. It fixes that. So now I've got the latest firmware update and Fly update on this controller from like just now, and then this update that I showed you a few days ago as well. So you've been trying to update your Mini 4 Pro or your DJI Air 3 and you've been getting that message your firmware is up to date and you're like, why? It's not. There's a firmware out. You need to go and update the DJI Fly app first within that about settings like I've just shown you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the like button if you did. Subscribe if you're new around here. And if you want more tips on any of these two drones or other drones, on my website I've got my own DJI cheat sheets which go through all of the different settings on these drones so you get the very most out of them. Go and check them out on the website. Thanks very much for watching. Have a fantastic day. See you soon. Bye bye.